Thailand has so many iconic spicy salads. This is not one of the most famous, but once you've tried it, it's unforgettable. We're gonna make Laab Woonsen. Okay guys, I love this dish so much because Laab is one of my favorite Thai salads. One, because it's super spicy, has loads of fresh herbs, and it's so tangy and full of flavor. And the other reason I love it so much is because there are noodles. So it's like my two favorite things, noodles and Laab spicy salad. What could be better? All right, let's start with the noodles first. So we're gonna use a glass noodle, which in Thailand we call Woonsen. So this is what it looks like. It's also called cellophane noodles, bean thread noodles, mung bean, vermicelli, bean thread vermicelli. Oh my God, there's so many different names for this noodle, but that's what you're looking for. And the best way to deal with these guys is some hot water. If you cook them in boiling water like pasta, they turn to mush. So just hot water and pour that on. Just sort of spread them out a little, and you want to let them soak for about 10 minutes until they're just tender. So in the meantime, let's talk about rice. And we need rice for this dish because the secret ingredient to any good Thai Laab salad is roasted glutinous rice. So you're looking for sticky rice or glutinous rice. Looks just like this, and we're going to pop it into our frying pan. I want you to toast these guys, keep them moving so they get an even color, and you'll be able to smell when they're ready. I'm starting to get that aroma now. What it is like a nutty, popcorn, smoky kind of aroma, and when we grind this up and add this to our salad, that's the beautiful flavor that it adds. Now look at that color, that's just perfect. I want to get that into my mortar and then just grind that to a fine powder. So you can do this with regular jasmine or long grain rice as well. I do find it can be a little bit firmer and a bit more bitey than the sticky rice. So try and find that one first. Now let's have a look at our noodles, and the only way to test is to pick one up and try it. Beautifully tender and not sticky or gluggy. That's exactly what we want. Shake most of that water off and into a bowl. So the next thing we want to do is the spicy salad dressing. Now we're going to start off with some fish sauce and some palm sugar. So this is what palm sugar will usually look like. It comes in these very firm cakes. And then what you need to do is use your knife to shave the sugar, and that will allow it to disintegrate and dissolve more easily into that dressing. Next up is the chili powder. So this is a Thai chili powder. It's sort of like a little flaky, and it has seeds in there as well as the powder. What I would suggest is that if you can't get a Thai brand of chili powder, just look for a chili powder that has quite a bit of heat, but also has a little bit of those seeds and a bit of a flaky texture. This salad is traditionally really hot. I mean, the cafe that serves it down the road from my studio here in Bangkok makes it so hot, but it's so good. Obviously you can tone the chilies down a little if you prefer. And to that I'm going to add our roasted rice powder. And then the other thing I want is some lime juice. It's tasting so good. Salty, tangy, spicy. Love it. So this will get us started with the salad dressing. I always find with this kind of Thai salad, you do need to taste it and adjust the seasoning at the end, but this is a solid start. Now the other thing I want to do is slice up some shallots, and these are some little red, small Asian shallots. You could use French eschalots as well. They're a bit bigger, so use less of those. Actually, even some red onion would be fine too. Okay, so now we can get started on our pork. And I'm just gonna get this straight into a dry frying pan. Traditionally, the meat for this type of salad in Thailand is often boiled in a little bit of water, but I find with pork mince, it's got enough kind of juiciness that it can handle just going into a pan on its own, and it will cook in its own little porky juices. So I can see we've got the juice coming out now. The pork looks cooked. You don't want to brown the meat for this. You're really after it to just kind of poach. Now that's looking good. I'm going to put this straight into our noodles. Now I try and leave behind most of that liquid because I don't want to sog out my salad. Now while that pork is still warm, I want to add in my shallots. And this is just a thing that I like to do with my Laab salads. I add a little bit of the dressing first, and I mix the warm pork and the warm shallots and that little bit of dressing together so that the shallots kind of lose that harsh onion flavor. Now, one of the most important things for any Thai salad is the herbs. And I'm going to use a very traditional herb for this type of salad. It's called sawtooth coriander, and it looks like this, very different to regular coriander. You can see the leaves have that sawtooth edge, hence the name, sawtooth coriander. This will give you the most authentic flavor, I guess. It has a coriander flavor, but it's kind of stronger, a bit more medicinal. If you can't get a hold of this, and I know a lot of you won't be able to, you can use regular coriander. And for those of you who don't like coriander, you can just leave it out. And now I want some spring onion as well. And then the most important herb, which is the reason why I said if you're not a coriander lover, you can leave it out. The most important herb is mint. So you want lots of mint. Now pour over your dressing. Oh, this is my favorite part, where the noodles get stained a beautiful chili red and I can smell all those fresh herbs. Okay, now I want to test for my final seasoning here. Honestly, Thai salads, they're so magical. There is so much flavor there. It's just a huge burst of spicy and tangy and fresh and all the good things. I am going to add a little bit more chili though, because I'm me. And then I want a little bit more lime juice as well. Okay, now just pile this up onto a plate. And then to serve here in Thailand, we always have some cooling ingredients nearby to nibble on in between mouthfuls of spicy salad. So I've got some raw cabbage here, and then a few stems of spring onion. And then these are snake beans, which we often serve raw for that cooling effect. So there you go, guys. If you love spicy things, if you love noodles, if you love Thai salads, any of those things, then you are going to want to make this. And I am going to want to eat it. So good. I always get so excited about noodles.
Today we're making egg salad. This one special regional Thai fried egg salad. You don't find this in the restaurant. Mama Noi going to show you how. First of all, we need to fry the egg. You must fry like an Asian style. Crispy and crunchy. Heat up the oil. We want a lot of oil for this. Listen to Noi. You're not be scared with the oil. Wait till the oil nice and hot. How you know how to find the oil hot? You just use the chopstick, wood stick. Use the big end, not the small end. So you put on a pan. You make sure the bubble. If the bubble, that means the oil ready. This one not quite. No bubbling. Oil should be ready now. You can see that the oil is bubbling. That means it's ready. Okay, now the egg. I like to crack my egg in a bowl first. You never know what's gonna happen. Now put the egg in. Be careful, but the oil is splashing. Flick the oil around the egg. It's gonna make crunchy all over. That's how you cook the Asian fried egg. Now you look the crunchy. You see the color? That's ready. Put in a tray with the paper towel. 1 egg per person. Need to cook all the way to crispy and well done. How the Asian people like. That egg is done. Now we're going to do the vegetable. We want some onion, cut half, cut to the wedges, but not too big because we're going to eat him too. Just like this. Good salads, good chopping. Now put in a bowl, tomato. We're using egg, they call egg tomato. I need 2. Cut half, and you take this one off because you can't eat this one. Cut the same with wedges, with the same onion. Now put into the bowl. This is a great salad. All you need is a simple ingredient. You can make any night of the week. Egg and some vegetable. Simple. You want red chili? This one, nice, it's not too spicy, you can eat it. If you want, you can use the capsicum too. This one not very spicy salad. I want to cut this way, take more of the seeds out. This one special ingredient. In Thai we call ton king chai. And in English, it's Chinese celery. You can find this at Chinese supermarket. I have mild celery flavor. If you can't get this one, you can use celery leaves, just normal celery. This one, we can use the whole thing, this one. Now I want a coriander and spring onion. Vegetable is done, now we're going to cut the egg. The egg don't need to be hot, it's warm. I'm going to cut a nice chunk. Half first. You can hear this crispy. I don't have to cut too big, by side. Now we're going to add all the resting ingredient. fish sauce, white sugar. You need sweet and salty and sour. Now I need some lamb juice. So you just wrap the lamb, make it juicy, and you cut it half, then cut to the wedges. And the lamb, squeeze the lamb. Now we mix. Look at the color. That's beautiful. I want to taste it. It's still gonna add some more flavor. Don't need any more flavor. Beautiful. The egg is nice and crispy. This one's so good. Now I can serve it up. This one you can serve with steamed rice or eat together with another Thai dishes. Look at the color. A lot of dressing in the bottom. Just pour that on the top. Just look at that. You never find this in a local Thai restaurant. You will love it. Home cooking with Mama Noi. I hope to see you next episode.
If you're a fan of spicy Thai salads, then you cannot afford to miss out on this one, guys. This is the classic spicy Thai beef salad, Nuea Nam Tok. Okay, so there are a couple of little tips and tricks and some ingredients here to get the flavors totally on point in like a traditional kind of way. So first up, we're gonna do a very simple marinade for our beef. I'm gonna start off with some palm sugar. And you guys buying palm sugar outside of Thailand usually find it in this kind of form. It's very hard, little cakes, and just use a sharp knife to shave the sugar. Now the reason you want to get a really nice fine shaving here is because you want the sugar to be able to dissolve in your salad dressing and the marinade. And if you sort of hack it off in clumps, that won't happen. Now I want about 3 teaspoons or so. Okay, now I just want a little bit of this for my marinade, and the rest goes into another bowl for my dressing for later. Okay, the rest of the marinade is just a little bit of fish sauce, and a good dash of finely ground black pepper, and then just mix it all together. Okay, let's talk about the steak. And I'm using strip loin today, sirloin, porterhouse, rump steak. These are all good things that you could be using. The only thing I will say though is that you don't want it too thick. So these guys are pretty thick, large pieces of steak. So what I'm gonna do is just grab some baking paper. And if you have a meat mallet at home, you can totally use that. I always find the less sort of utensils I have in my kitchen, the better. So I'm just gonna use the bottom of a saucepan, just give that a good whack. Okay, so that's probably about 2 centimeters, half an inch thick. That's perfect. Now just get your pieces of steak into that marinade and give them a good mix. So this marinade does not need long, guys. I just need to leave it aside for a few minutes while I get some other ingredients done. So one of the very key ingredients for a traditional version of this salad is roasted rice powder. Now to make that, you're going to need to start off with some raw sticky rice, and you might see it labeled as glutinous rice in the Asian grocer. That is what you're looking for. You can try it with jasmine rice, but I do find the particles are a bit firmer. They don't sort of grind down as fine. So anyway, here's my sticky rice. I'm going to get that into a hot pan. Now just keep this moving, just like if you were toasting pine nuts or peanuts. Want a really nice golden color. Okay, now just pop that into my mortar and just grind this to a fine powder. Okay, so this is the sort of situation that you're looking for. Okay, now we're ready to do our steaks. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of oil to a hot pan. Now, what I do here when I'm cooking steaks at home is I wait for a really nice, beautiful dark color on the first side. So I just let it sit there for a little while. Once I get that color, then I'm going to turn it over, turn the heat down a little bit, and keep flipping the steak until it's evenly cooked all the way through. Oh, that color is really nice. Now, whenever I'm doing strip loin or sirloin and there's that layer of fat on the outside of the steak, I always like to make sure I upend the steak and really get some color and render away some of that fat as well. Okay, so I can tell by just poking that steak with my finger that that is a nice medium rare. Okay, steaks definitely need to rest. So let those guys just settle down and rest a little while we make our salad dressing. So that palm sugar that we shaved off a little earlier, I've got that in a bowl. I'm gonna add some fish sauce and some chili powder. Now, I like to go hard on the chili powder for this one. It should be a really spicy dish, but tone it down if you like. And then we want some lime juice as well. Just like to push down on these limes first, break up the insides a little, makes them a little juicier. And then we've got that toasted rice powder that we made. All right, give that a mix. Okay, now we're really getting down to the salad part. I'm gonna grab a few of these red Asian shallots, just some fine slices of those. Okay, now one of my little secret tips for this salad is that I like to mix the warm beef and those shallots or the red onion first with the salad dressing. It sort of cuts through some of that harsh onion flavor from the finished dish. So let me slice up this steak. And the idea here is you want really fine, thin slices. So as with almost any Thai dish, this is meant to be eaten with rice and with a fork and a spoon. So it should be so fine and tender that you can eat it with rice and without a knife. Now pile that beef in on top of those shallots. And I want a good few spoonfuls of that dressing. These resting juices, they're like liquid gold, guys. They go in as well. Okay, give everything a really good mix. Okay, so now we're at the herb stage, and the herbs for this salad should be super prominent, so don't be shy with the herbs. First of all, the mint, that's the most important, and you want to pick off, I'm going to use almost like a whole bunch in here. And then this one is optional because it's going to be a little hard for you guys to find, but I thought I would show you the very traditional herb that we would use in the salad in Thailand, and this is called sawtooth coriander, and you can see the edges of this leaf has that sort of saw shape or pattern, and you can find this perhaps from like a Thai grocer or an Asian grocer. If not, you could use normal coriander or just leave it out altogether. And then I want some spring onion as well. And now some more of that dressing. I just like to add a little bit of the dressing, give it a mix. Okay, let's see. That's good. I think it can take a little bit more dressing. And just because, you know, I'm me, I'm going to add a little bit more chili powder. Oh, this is smelling so beautiful. I wish you guys could smell this with me right here. Okay, we're ready to go. I'm going to put this out onto a plate. And then here in Thailand, we serve this with a few other little things. We take some cabbage, and because this is typically quite fiery, what you do is you eat some of the salad and then you pick off some of these cabbage leaves, and that kind of cools down your palate a little bit as you're eating it. And then the other thing that cools down your palate while you're eating the very spicy salad are snake beans. So you can see these are quite a lot longer than regular green beans. They've got sort of like a rough texture. Okay, now if you're in the northeast of Thailand where this dish comes from, you'd be eating this with some sticky rice. When I'm eating at home, I usually just serve it with some steamed rice or just on its own if you can handle the spicy.
Today we're making the spicy tuna salad. In Thai we call yam tuna. Yam in Thai means salad. This one I used to make when I live in Australia. When you move to another country, you make what ingredient you have. Sometimes don't have original. You still can make Thai food good everywhere. No excuse. This one great lunchtime one. Wait, let me show you the way. First I have some tuna. I just canned tuna. I got some Asian shallot. The red onion is good too. Just chop. I got a big knife today. Don't mess with noise. Now we're gonna add some Thai flavors. And the fish sauce, a little bit sugar. You need some spicy here. That's right chili powder. You listen to noise. Maybe a little bit more. Now we need some lime juice too. I get a knife, squeeze a little bit because make it juicy. And I squeeze it by hand. Now we need the herb. Fresh herb here make a salad more amazing, just like Noi. The spring onion, I cut the root off. And the mint, just handful like this. Put in. And the coriander. Western tuna salads have too much marinade. Gonna mix it. Just look at that. It's so fresh. try first, check for the flavor. Oh, very good and tasty. So simple, so good. I think a little bit more chili, need Noi, and mix it up. You'll be so surprised how tasty it is. It's served with a lot of fresh vegetable. You people don't eat enough vegetable. Nice. And some cucumber. I got a crispy shallot here too. I like to sprinkle it just before you eat. Here there's spicy tuna. Just add the wedges lamb. There you go. Spicy tuna salad. Yum tuna. Another winner from Noi.
Did you forget something?
Oh, put down first.
What about the words?
Oh, what I have to say? Now let's cooking.
The dressing for our salad is that magical mix of lime juice, fish sauce and sugar, which is classically Thai. So we'll start off with our fish sauce and a little bit of palm sugar. Now if you don't have that at home, you can use brown sugar. And now you want a good kick of chili spice with this one. Some lime juice, you've got that sweet, sour and salty. So this is the base of all the flavour for our salad. You always need to taste the salad at the end though and adjust a little bit, but at least we're starting off with a very good base. And now for what I think is one of the most important ingredients. If you've ever had Thai Laab salad in a restaurant and then tried to make it at home and it didn't quite work out, you need to make some toasted ground rice. So I'm gonna put some sticky rice or glutinous rice into a hot pan. You could also use normal long grain rice or jasmine rice. So keep the pan moving so you get an even golden color on all your rice grains. Okay, so once your rice grains are a lovely golden color, you should be able to smell almost like a popcorn flavor. And that lovely aroma and flavor is gonna go into our salad. Okay, so we pop that into a mortar and just use a pestle to ground that to a fine powder. So the toasted rice powder is going to do two things. It's going to give us that lovely nutty flavor, but it's also going to thicken up all the juices in the dressing in the salad, which makes sure that everything has this lovely sort of thick coating on it. Next up, we just want some shallots for our salad. Now for the meaty part of our salad, we're going to just cook off some pork mince. So the idea here is to heat this just until the pork's cooked through. We're not after any kind of colour on the meat at all. Okay, looking good. Right, time to mix the salad. Okay, so pop your warm pork and all the juices into a bowl. And my biggest tip is to mix through the shallots right when that pork is really hot straight out of the pan, and that kind of softens the shallots and takes away that harsh onion flavor. Okay, so now we add the dressing. You can smell that lime juice doing its work already. And now for that magic ingredient we made earlier, the toasted ground rice. And as you mix that through, you'll see the juices from all that pork and the salad dressing start to thicken up and really give us a nice coating. Now it's this point that we add all our fresh herbs just before we serve. So I'm going to add in some coriander and some mint leaves. And it's at this point that we can smell all those fresh herbs, all that lovely lime juice. Okay, one last little taste. That's good. My mum would add more chili, but that's perfect for me.